is here. We're a 501c3 nonprofit private operating foundation, and we really spend all of our time thinking about financial education, financial capability for underserved populations in the United States. And we're providing we do some direct-to-consumer outreach through some of our websites, which we'll mention today. But a lot of what we're going to show you is tools for you to helping the helpers help others. And it's not just pro bono financial advisors. This can be used by social workers and a lot of other groups. But what you need to know is the idea for what we're showing you came from FPA practitioners. A lot of the 9/11 folks that intervened in New Jersey, the DC area, and New York chapters, and greater Pennsylvania and all those areas inspired us, and really they said, help us create something that lowers the burden and the hassle for us to be involved in our community. Tee up some of your ideas. So what you see here is actually based on possibly, Jeanette, I don't know, 12 to 14 years of direct work we've done with national nonprofits. So we've done 100 individual collaborations of NEFE with the American Red Cross, Habitat for Humanity, Salvation Army, and even groups like adoption organizations, problem gambling, infertility. We've picked unusual topics where there's a financial decision to make, or people are vulnerable if they make the wrong choice. If they could go excessive in some of these areas and lose their financial security. So middle-income Americans and lower, underserved populations, and that's kind of where we came from. And what we're going to show you is a reimagination of the original project. FinancialWorkshopKits.org lives right now on the web. Then in about 3 weeks, what we're going to show you today is going to go live, and then we're going to give you a preview of what's coming.
And may I remind you, they are free. I know it's hard for people to imagine that. And I do get questions, are you sure it's free? So let me assure you that it is free. So Financial Workshop Kits, it is a website. There are choices. When you look and navigate through the website, it's very easy to move from one place to another. It shows different workshops and PowerPoint presentations that might not be suitable for your end users, but they would help the community volunteer, and that's just a term for all the people that would do this work, that can take those PowerPoints and make it their own according to their speaking styles. There's scripts, there's handouts, there's FAQs to help you as a presenter. What should I do? How should I dress? How should give me some information and tips on how I can reach to this audience.
And I'll add, these are not, usually everything NEFE does has a copyright on it. These presentations do not. So it is completely flexible. We don't have the NEFE logo on it. We don't have copyright. You can add your chapter name to it. If you're working with a community-based organization, add that in. You're part of a regional coalition. All those are possibilities for you. But it'll give you a head start. And then you can amp it up to make it more sophisticated, add new things, or lower it and shorten it. These are generally designed to run about an hour or less. So it's the raw basic information, but there's enough space in it that you're going to have the opportunity for a lot of interaction with your audience. And it can be used in roundtable settings, seminars like this, community fairs, you name it, all that's there. So each topic will have these elements that Jeanette mentioned.
And this particular one is the cover for college-type workshops. We've identified 9 topics, and they are listed here. And it covers everything from generational counseling to youth, to those in high school, to those who want to help those in the MS program, low income. It could be a United Way partnership or relationship.
Yeah, and so these 9 categories are coded multiple times. So you may go to like a workshop with that we have for, let's say, savings through tax refunds, which is like tied into VITA programs. That may be tied to low income, special situations, possibly even a workplace setting would be good for that, to build up the EITC participation. So these are going to be common categories, and you'll be able to just click aging, and all the workshops that relate to that will come up, easily searchable, and these are going to be used consistently throughout a lot of our portfolio. And the thing we actually call a lot of that work are those 100 nonprofit interventions that we've done, which were really co-branded, customized materials for that population. What we're doing with this, we're reimagining that kind of information and putting it in workshop format, making it generic, not having it linked back to, let's say, Salvation Army or United Way, and really opening it up for broader use. So it's based, a lot of this is based on interactions we've had and focus groups with national nonprofits serving vulnerable populations. So we gave a presentation to our board last week, and I actually termed the 100 projects that we've done over the last 12 or so years is really a portfolio management of vulnerable populations. And we have an index back in the office against these 9 categories. And so what you'll see in the future, each year we're going to be adding about 13 new workshops. We're going to dig back to our inventory, our archives, and bring it up to contemporary standards for your use. So we're really unlocking our library of community financial education intervention.
And there's a lot of overlap. So anything
Right.
that might be in youth could be in aging, could be in human services. So you click on human services and say, gee, I wonder if that's the same for youth. There is a lot of overlap. Some of the examples of the workshops we work with, former inmates, domestic violence, addiction could be gambling, it could be, I guess, what other addiction is there?
Drug, alcohol.
All drugs and alcohol.
Spending addiction.
Military, we do have one in military. I know there was some emphasis on that. Your spending, your savings is really focused on the middle income, anywhere from 24 to 50s. And 40 money management tips are for those entering college, want to be able to do a step-by-step plan on how to manage their money, or youth, those in high school. Children with Disability came from a partnership that we had with a Minneapolis-based organization where they were focusing on estates, wills, what I do if I'm not in this life, what will happen with my kids, that kind of money management skills.
Yeah, and I think that's a good example. We've done probably 9 projects with national health or disability groups over time. We've done MS a couple times, actually. The one with children with disabilities is an example of what we're going to do going forward. Where actually that covers multiple disabilities. That could be autism, it could be Down syndrome, all kinds of different conditions that fit into a disability category. So very challenging kind of work. But this is, and we've just updated this nationally, so this is very contemporary information. But these will be the workshops that will go on the site that we're populating the site with it now. This is our first year set of workshops that will be up, probably all those will be up by December. But we'll probably launch after Thanksgiving.
In addition to all the topics you saw before, there is the college series. We're hearing a lot of feedback from college students saying, okay, I'm in college, how do I manage my money? Everything from freshman, sophomore, junior year going abroad, how do I do that? How do I handle loans that I owe? How do I, identity theft is a big topic where roommates, you never suspect your roommate might just grab a card just to pay for pizza. And how students, I have 2 student-age girls, and the stories I hear on how, oh my gosh, somebody almost did this to me, and those are in these type of series.
So this is a way we're also harvesting from other NEFE tools or programs. We have a program called Cash Course that's in 640 colleges and universities. That's a subscription-only website through an agreement between NEFE and a university, and that site is placed on the student financial aid area, student services, career services, alumni association part of the university. We piloted it with the Big Ten schools. This has been going on about 4 years, very successful. We're taking the workshops from that platform and making them kind of non-cash course, non-NEFE, making them generic and putting them on this site. So that's the kind of places we're taking not only from our vulnerable populations portfolio, but other places to do that.
And as Brent said earlier, these are some of our audiences that we hope that would be attracted to this type of projects and work on financial workshop kits. It started with your organization, and we have found other groups that have similar interests and similar wants and needs to do something of this nature, whether it could be in a one-to-one training, to a workshop, to incorporating a life skill module. So before Brent ends it, I would just like to say, I never get calls about this, but I know there's a lot of questions out there. I would like to encourage you to give us a call at the office, and let me just give you my number. It's 303-224-3502, and my name is Jeannette. And when we do these presentations, I only get a call to conference, so I don't mind that if you call me and say, hey, do you have this? Or, hey, I thought I saw this, but I couldn't find it. Please don't hesitate to call me.
Now, there will be a place on the website to provide suggestions, so you can just say, hey, I don't see topic X. I think you ought to look into that. We'll also have an e-newsletter, which we're not going to hit you very much, maybe quarterly. It'll be probably one page. It'll just say, okay, here's what's new on the site, or here's what's coming up. Very simple, and I think that would be helpful. Do you have another slide there? I think okay.
Is that something you subscribe to, or are you going to automatically send it to everybody out there as contact?
If that's up to you all. If you want to give us the names when we're ready, we could do that. Yeah. Now, another thing we're going to do, probably in January, I've talked to Amir about this, we're going to create a specialized link. It's almost like an ad that Amir and I will negotiate what's on there. It's like a reminder of what this site can do, especially for the pro bono directors. So wherever Amir wants to place that on the pro bono side of FPA, that will be there. That's like a portal hot link just for you all. And we'll work out an agreement for that. Let me also, and then you do have this handout. We just did this yesterday, so about everything we've told you is on here, all these lists. And it's on front and back. Let me give you a preview of what we're going to do next year, the possibilities. Hospice and palliative care, low-income seniors, and some of these are done with top other organizations like National Council on Aging. Women in retirement, making adoption an affordable option, youth mentoring, Habitat homeowners. We've done 4 projects with Habitat nationally, so we're going to bring some of that to life. Managing utility bills, blueprint for community-based financial education. This is really good. We did this with Catholic Charities. It's a strategic planning tool if you're working with community-based organizations to figure out what do you want to do in financial literacy, financial capability in your area. Do you want to form an alliance? And this is where you can bring allied professions involved and actually build a community and have big media and societal impact. Disasters, we've done 4 projects with the Red Cross, and chronic illness. We've done, like I said, those kind of 9 possibilities. And Jeanette, we don't have a slide on the NEFE tools, do we? Okay. So let me just point out on this, because this came up, I know Dave had mentioned this. If you go to the back page, NEFE Tools, it's on the right-hand side. We're going to have a special section on workshop kits to link you to these other websites, consumer or practitioner-based. Smartaboutmoney.org is our main consumer site. We're also going to build workshop presentations where you can introduce these sites to different audiences. So that's the ultimate lead behind. These are, and since we're self-funded, we have no commercial sponsorship. You'll never see a bank ad or even an association ad on there. And My Retirement Paycheck is a moderate to low-income retirement income management site, almost on decumulation for people that haven't saved enough. But it's based on research. It's a non-number site. It's conceptual to help you optimize decision-making. Very powerful. We do it with Boston College. FPA, brilliant people like Jonathan Guyton and others help develop this conceptually and what the decision areas are. And Spencer, I'll mention real quick as we talked, and Economic Survival Tips is inside Smart About Money. That's our answer to the recession, and that deals with credit, housing problems, financial basics, home and mortgage, as I mentioned, and special situations. And dealing with personalities, like I'm fearful about the economy, I think I've got my act together, I'm starting to get back. You can match these strategies. We'll build workshops around that. But Spencer.org is a YouTube site, just won a national award. It's a public confessional about spending problems. People go up there, it's like America's Funniest Home Videos, but you go, people contribute videos and say, look at what I've got in my closet. Or I mentioned to some folks in the back, a young girl rats out her parents because the dad is spending too much on camera equipment, and she literally pulls their ears to her into the camera frame. And the mom is spending all this money on Oriental rugs, and she says, listen, America, these parents, for whatever reason, picked me or created me, they are destroying my college fund because of and then they show where all these things are. So you need something to kind of break up an audience. These are authentic Americans talking about these problems. It's really exciting. So, Spencer.org. It's the second to last item. It's right above the logo on the back page.
Is it just the videos, or is there?
There's a lot more to it. Yeah, it's for discussion. And we will build a workshop around these easy tools. So next year we'll have a lot of those, and that allows people to calculate the savings. Like if they hadn't wasted money on X, Y, Z, what would they have saved it for? There's like a running tote board. You've heard of the National Debt Clock?
Oh, yeah.
We have a National Spencer regret clock of savings that they didn't have.
Nice.
Okay. Any other questions?
Who creates most of your content?
We use outside writers, and it's reviewed by CFPs as well. But a lot of it is based on the portfolio of the work we've done with these national nonprofits. That's been reviewed by CFPs. It's also been field tested in focus groups. So we've had, like the collaborative, in the Habitat example, we've had Habitat staff and professionals review that for the right tone. They selected the photographs and all that. On a lot of these workshops, we will give you a link back to the original publication or website as an extra resource if you want to do a deeper dive as to what was the origin of that. So you'll be able to go back to the original source of material. And we have a lot of the